the oldest, I should be last.
Age before beauty.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
I like how you did that. All the way, all the way. I can't complain about that.
Hey, went all the way around.
Hey, voila.
Nice work. So yeah, we're here tasting Ehrenfelser in the Ehrenfelser Vineyard at Summerhill Winery. And this is a party wine. So it's a party here in the vineyard. So Joey, Summerhill Sales Director. Michael Alexander, Summerhill's winemaker. Susan Watkins, sommelier in residence. And Summerhill's executive winery chef, Mr. Jeremy Lipin.
And Ezra, second generation.
Thank you very much. And so Ehrenfelser, history of Ehrenfelser?
Goes back to Germany. It is a cross of Riesling and Sylvaner, as far as we know. It was planted around the Ehrenfels Castle.
Yeah, Castle Ehrenfels, that's right.
Hence the name Ehrenfelser. As far as I know, they've got about 4 hectares of it left there. So we, I think, have more planting here in British Columbia than Germany still does. But
Yeah, that's right. It's hardly grown anywhere in the world. It was selected. It's a vinifera cross from Germany. And the reason it's here is because when the Okanagan Valley was first planted with vinifera grapes, it was planted by Professor Helmut Becker from the Geisenheim Institute. And this was one of the test blocks from the 1970s. This is one of the godfather blocks of the Okanagan wine industry. These are old Ehrenfelser vines from that time. And Ehrenfelser actually does very well in the Okanagan Valley because it's dry here. We have heat in the summer. Yeah. So related to Riesling, but how is it different from Riesling?
The acid isn't quite as high as Riesling, but it still has a lot of those beautiful kind of ripe fruit notes, a really delicious, juicy fruit character. I'm gonna have a sip.
Yeah. So Michael, like from a winemaking perspective, like how do you treat it differently than Riesling?
yeah, so since the acid structure is a little bit different and it's not quite as pronounced as in Riesling, the style of wines that we make are a little bit different. So with this one, we do a really beautiful off-dry wine. It kind of softens the whole wine, gives it a beautiful mouthfeel. We're not going for that like super austere Riesling style that a lot of people think of aromatic whites as. We want some of that sugar, that naturally unfermented sugars, to kind of balance out the acid, balance out the fruit. And when we do leave that little bit of residual sugar, it just becomes this tropical fruit bomb. Like it just jumps out of the glass with that mango and pineapple and papaya. And so we found over the years that if we do it too dry, it kind of loses its magic. And so leaving a little bit of residual sugar really gives it a lot of excitement and a lot of flavor.
How about food pairing, chef?
It goes well, spicy things, a little bit of seafood, pork, barbecue, like Ehrenfelser barbecue.
Any ideas, Susan? Food pairing?
Food pairing? Spicy food. I love this wine with Thai green curry, something that has a really lovely aromatic character like the wine, but that unfermented natural grape sugar in the wine helps to temper the spice of the curry. I love spicy food, so but honestly, this wine is so delicious on its own. Like, especially the sun's out, it's springtime, you just want to be in the park with your friends or your safe circle. It's delicious on its own. It's delicious with really simple fare like fruit platters and cheese. It doesn't have to be fussy, which I love.
Yeah, it gets super dangerous in the sun.
It
on a
really
patio.
does.
It pairs well with air.
With air.
So Joey, if Ehrenfelser is a celebrity,
A celebrity. I mean, if I'm just gonna shoot for the stars, I'm gonna tap into the music industry and say Taylor Swift.
Solid choice.
yeah. So how is Ehrenfelser like Taylor Swift? Why did you choose Taylor Swift?
Can be both light and refreshing. Always has a cool little beat happening. Really strong lyrical background and serious when you need it to be.
Okay, and what era of Taylor Swift is it?
For all the Swifties out there, I'm gonna go 1989.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
It's bright and sunny.
But it's got style.
Yeah, it's got super style. I agree. 1989. I think that's nice. What do you think? Pop culture reference, Ehrenfelser.
I would have to go to maybe like the Legally Blonde Elle Woods
Yes!
of the pop culture, where it's same thing. It's like this not like this fun, like sorority party funness, but like also like seriously and caring in the end, right? So I would go like with the Elwoods for the Legally Blonde.
For the win.
Yeah, there's an intelligence here.
There's an intelligence
This
to
is
it,
not
right?
it's not a bimbo.
No, it's not. It's not like
Or a
the
himbo.
the himbo bimbo. It's not like the Clueless. It's more like the Legally Blonde.
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes.
Yeah, but it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
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 It's like lightens the mood. You know what I mean?
Drinking
Definitely
this
watching
actually transports me to one of the most incredible food moments I've ever had, which was standing in a peach orchard, pulling a peach out of the sun-kissed air and biting into it, and it's so juicy and it's warm and it's so ripe, and yeah, it's like that moment in that orchard in class.
You know what? As far as flavor profile goes, the first thing people notice is usually the tropical fruits. But if I really think about what I taste, to me it's more stone fruit. I actually feel like to me like a very ripe, sun-kissed apricot. Actually.
Exactly, like a juicy, sun-ripened stone fruit.
Yeah, and then all that tropical stuff in the back, giving it texture and complexity. What else? Is there anything else other than fruit that you're tasting?
On the finish, there's a little bit of like savory green spice, which just helps to elevate the flavor profile for me. That's that little bit of sophisticated. I went to Harvard Law.
Like, is it hard or something?
Is that
What about like I don't know, I don't want to say the wrong words, but there's like a waxiness or something like that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's a really beautiful viscosity to this one,
Yeah.
which I think is what makes it so food friendly. Like that's got so much texture that the possibilities are kind of endless.
Texture, viscosity, body.
Yeah.
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 All right, so this is the new release 2019 Ehrenfelser, which we're just making available for sale on its own for the first time. And at the same time, we still actually have some of the 2018 vintage. We had a bumper crop. One of the weird things about Ehrenfelser is that it crops wildly different. This vineyard one year may give us 2 tons an acre, and the next year it may set fruit for 6 tons an acre. So it's a very like weird cyclical fruit. Oh yes, and there's a good illustration. This is when we switched our branding from our historical brand to our current iteration of our branding. Yeah. Open that up. Let's taste it. Let's see how the 2018 is doing. So anyway, we had a huge crop of Ehrenfelser, and so we still have some 2018 left. But it's really time to move on to the 2019. So we are, what's the word for it? Bin ending, end of vintage sale. How do you say it?
End of vintage.
End of vintage sale. End of vintage sale for the 2018 Ehrenfelser. And this is now going to be available by the case.
It sure is.
And so let's see how it's doing. Check in on it, and see how it compares, and see how Ehrenfelser develops, how it ages from a fresh, young wine like the 2019 to something with a little bit of age on it. I would say the 2018, I've tasted it before, is probably past its initial freshest iteration and is starting to develop some more mature character. So let's see how it does. And we'll just pour this one out for Bacchus, back onto the vines.
Yeah.
So that's just too good to dump. That's my baby.
Some of us are only 5 feet tall and can only handle so much.
Children's portions.
Ladies first.
Thank you.
Mr. Michael. Mr. Ezra.
Let me pour that for you, Jerry.
Oh, thank you. It's like cooking, right? Like everything tastes better when someone else makes you something. Everything tastes better when someone else pours your wine.
Okay, the 2018.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Friday.
Happy
Friday.
Friday. Accept my apologies. This is worth it.
Okay, so yes, it's 1 year older, so it's going to be different for that reason, but it's also a different vintage. Any notes on the vintage variation?
2018 was a little bit warmer. We had a warmer spring, so we got more fruit set. Where 2019, we had a cool spring. We had a little bit of a frost at the start, which really limited the amount of fruit that was going to set and did set. And so what we found is that in 2018 it was a big year, lots of fruit. It all got really ripe, it was really pretty, where in 2019 it was a little bit smaller of a crop with a little bit higher acid. So you may notice that in the 19 the acid's just a little bit higher than in the 18, but they both have a nice balance to them. We did put a little bit more, or we fermented a little bit less in the 2019, so the residual sugar is a little bit higher to balance out that acid, so they both have that balance in them that you would expect in Ehrenfelser.
So, Joey, Susan, Jeremy, how's this wine doing? How is it maturing? How has it evolved?
It's gorgeous, and I love seeing this from a white wine, because I feel like people underestimate the longevity and the cellarability of white wines, and this is just a testament to it. It's only 3 years old, and it's still showing like remarkable amounts of bright fresh fruit. I'm getting like a red apple peel off it, and that sort of like, you can see the Riesling characteristic coming through in this Ehrenfelser in a way that again speaks to its longevity.
Yeah, a lot more of that citrus is coming out again, like a really cool lime pith note to it. A little bit like a pink grapefruit, like fresh pink, pink grapefruit, if I could get that out with a tongue twister. But.
Yeah, no, it's still incredibly fresh, and it also has a really beautiful floral character too, which I love, and some kind of beeswaxy note, or like a lanolin note
coming up more.
Yeah, which is starting to become a little more prominent as the wine
some of that
ages.
real like strong stone fruit and tropical fruit. It's kind of like toned down a little bit. Right?
And weird-wise, like food-wise, like I would like, to me the first one screamed like spicy food, where this one like takes me almost to want to do like a schnitzel or like something a little bit fried, and just that, you know, the breading and the fat that's in it with this would be, I think, a little more complementary to like that spicy one. So it's weird how like vintages change so much, right? Where you're like, give me spicy with this one, but for here I just want like a schnitzel, or even like just like a breaded chicken on top of a salad with some really good acidity, fresh tomatoes. Like, it's just weird how this one kind of changes.
So dinner in the bistro.
Is this still Reese Witherspoon, Taylor Swift, or is this something else?
Yeah, I mean, there's still like an aura of fun here. Like, there's still like, there's something.
This is a more recent Taylor Swift.
Yeah, more folklore.
It's still fun. It's still bubbly. You know, it's willow, but there's a seriousness to it that it didn't have before.
So does this
like
go to Legally Blonde too?
Touche.
Or you try and free the dog's mom, you know? But yeah, it's crazy how, like, I know from vintage how it changes, right? Like, for my palate, like I prefer almost like this style a little bit more, right? So like the other one was like fresh and fun, but this one's just like for food wise, right? Like I would want to play with this, right? And like on a nice hot summer's day, like you could barbecue chicken, you could barbecue sausage, and like just that good char on the grill mark with like the age of this wine and kind of some more of the earthy notes in it, with just in that apple, would just be so good.
So pick up a case of the 19 to drink before dinner, and then 18 with dinner, and back to 19 for dessert. To go.
Any closing thoughts, Susan?
Well, for me, the 19 was a little more fresh and sprightly, and with the 18, that opulent, sort of luxurious, smooth mouthfeel is really front and center, and I love that. Like, to me, this is a wine for relaxation as much as it is for fun. It just feels like smooth sailing.
Michael, any closing thoughts?
I mean, they're both my children, so I love them equally, but for different reasons.
See, I was gonna say the first one is for like the parent with kids, and the second one is for the parent without kids. Like, 18 is more relaxed, where the 19 is like, give me something.
The 18 is for those of us with fur babies versus real babies.
Joey, you want to say anything? You want to make a sales pitch? You're the sales director.
You know what? I think this wine, I think it honestly sells itself. I don't think it needs a pitch.
Okay, I'm gonna give it the pitch.
You go for it.
Okay. I'm just gonna lay it out for everybody.
Go for it.
2019, available now at the low price of $20 a bottle, and the 18 is now by the case
Oh,
for 25% off of that.
it sure is.
$180 a case, or which translates to $15 a bottle. And because we have a little bit of this, and we want to see it go to a good home.
Me too.
So you guys enjoy it.
We really do.
Yeah.
Adopt my babies.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers! Cheers!
And there's the edit.
I think that was the best line.